Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
Okay. So, hi everyone. A very good evening to all of you and a warm welcome.
Got it.
Sorry,
Continue.
Okay. Hi everyone. A very good evening to all of you and a warm welcome to all of you for our CLAP edition 2. We are here at the fourth session of CLAP training, and the topic is the most favorite topic of our, of most of us. So, entrepreneurship, how to start a new business idea, and all about that. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to our speaker for the day today, that is Vineet sir. A warm welcome to you and all the participants, students, and all the members of Rotary Bangalore Abilities. Thank you so much for joining. So before we begin, I would like to request Justin sir to speak a few words. Over to you, Justin sir.
Okay. Thank you, Chandana. Thank you, everybody. Greetings of the festival. May the Lord bless you with good luck. Ganesha is the symbol of good luck. So whatever you start at this point, it'll come fruitful. So everybody who writes government exams are not going to get the jobs. So they have to be ready with other skills like entrepreneurship, how to be self-dependent. There are so many resources out there. YouTube has plenty of videos about entrepreneurship, and there are WhatsApp groups available. And now recently, all of you are aware of Clubhouse. Even Clubhouse has so many groups dedicated to entrepreneurship. So we have to make use of it. You have to earn your way through, because even with government exams, only 1% is reserved for the blind, so that the other 99%, how much ever they try, they won't get the job. So to make a living, you need to use your other skills. And today, our speaker will shed more light on that. So you never know. If you're lucky, you might get a job. Otherwise, we are providing you the resources and the skills that you need to stand on your own 2 feet. Thank you, Chandana, for this opportunity. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Justin sir, for giving a brief idea about what entrepreneurship would be. So before we go to the main part of the session, I would like to give a very short introduction about our speaker for the day. Mr. Vineet Tarimala was born and brought up in Bengaluru. However, his native is Kerala. His schooling was from Sudarshan Vidya Mandir. He is a BCom graduate. He started his journey as an entrepreneur in the field of event management and holds 9+ years of experience as an event manager. His major clients include Tata Motors and Airways and many more. He aspires to launch himself as a world-class speaker, trainer, and a coach. He holds 7+ years of experience as a trainer and has conducted several sessions covering major parts of Karnataka and Kerala. 1,000+ students have benefited through his training. A warm welcome to you, sir, and we are looking forward to hear from you. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Chandana. Thank you so much for that great introduction. I just simply love that. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. So,
good evening.
As Chandana said, my name is Vineet Perimana. So I am based out in Bangalore. I have been an entrepreneur and continue to do so in the field of events. It is a very, very special day for me today because I've just finished one of my events just now. That's a birthday party organized in this location called Whitefield, and I'm just way back home. So guys, please excuse me in case you find a little background noise. Is that okay with all of you? If yes, you can tell me yes.
You are loud and clear. Don't
Yes.
worry.
Actually, we
Awesome.
don't have any, we are not able to hear any, as I'm not sure if I'm not able to hear any background noise from you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So let me ask you this question first. How many of you have had a great lunch today? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
I'm yet to have my lunch.
Okay. Okay. There is someone who's not had their lunch. But yeah, how many of you had not had a great lunch today? Okay, not
Chandana.
many. Okay, Chandana. So after having this lunch, we have come across about 2 hours minimum. So I'm sure your energy is definitely high. If your energy is high, tell me energy. Shout out energy to me. Each of you.
Energy.
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 Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for acknowledging. So we would be continuing this session for the next 45 minutes. And as Chandana mentioned and Justin mentioned, it is going to be all about entrepreneurship. But when I say about entrepreneurship, it is more to do with what an entrepreneur should do. Or if you aspire to launch as an entrepreneur in any of the field, there'll be 3 major focus areas. So it is about that we would be covering for the next 45 minutes. So the first rule here, is that okay if I can set a little rules for this entire conversation?
The stage is all
Definitely.
yours.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. So what I was saying is I need full engagement, full participation from you so that I can really understand that you people are energetic, and let's not make it a boring session. So I need full of energy. Rule number 2, even before you answer, just shout out your name. If in case the question is about something, you shout out your name by telling Justin and then you answer, right? Okay. Are you okay with these 2 rules? Simple ones?
Yes.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. So entrepreneurship is all about, we understand, is he is a person who facilitates between the buyer and the seller, or he himself becomes a seller to a buyer. This is the simplest possible thing of an entrepreneur. Do you agree?
Yep.
Agree. Awesome. So all these content from this minute on, what I deliver is not mine. I would give the complete attribute of the entire thing that I speak from this moment is to my mentor and coach, who's one of the best Asia's leading business coach by name Rajiv Talreja. So the content that I deliver is all his, and that is where I learned from, right? So let's come back to the learning. The first thing, the first step as an entrepreneur that we should understand is there are 3 models that an entrepreneur should work on. So the first model is going to be B2C, which is business to cash, right? Do you agree there is this model for an entrepreneur to start? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So rule number 1, rule number 2, your name?
Sufyan, sir. Sorry.
Uh, repeat again.
Sufyan.
Sufyan. Thank you so much, Sufyan, for acknowledging. Let's give Sufyan a big round of applause because he's the first person to start this session by telling an yes. Can we give him a big round of applause, please? Awesome. Sufyan, so you said, I said B2C model. Can you give me a few examples of a B2C model entrepreneurships that happens? Sufyan,
Sir,
you're there?
honestly,
Yes.
I'm here, sir. Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, honestly, I don't know about it. but nobody was telling yes.
Okay, perfect. Good that you're not aware, but take this opportunity as to how you can get awareness of it. B2C model is where a business is selling his products or service in return to cash, right? So what I mean by that, suppose we are going to purchase vegetables, right? We are
Yes,
going to
sir.
pay cash. It can be cash, it can be phone pay, it can be Google Pay, any form of exchange that happens. Basically, the interaction is between the customer directly and the business itself and the business owner itself, or the business itself, right? So any groceries that we purchase, or probably any items that we on an essential basis that we purchase, that is a B2C model. That's a business to cash model. So anybody can tell me what is the second model then?
So could you please repeat the
Yes,
thing?
the first one is B2C model. Out of the three models, we have B2C model. What do you think would be the second model?
So marketing.
That's a good answer.
My
Marketing
name is Pushpa.
Yes, Pushpa, that's a good answer. Marketing, of course, we would be covering it in the later stage, but we are talking about a model, a business model, right? The first one is B2B. So the second model would be B2B. It's a business to business model. There, the end customer does not have much role to play. What I mean by that, for example, let's say a car manufacturer, let's assume the best brand, Maruti, correct? Maruti is a car brand. So we as customer go to Maruti and make a transactional, instrumental transaction by money, check, cash, or whatever, and we become a customer to them, right? So they are running a B2C model with customers like us. But in return, they are also running a B2B model. Can you tell me what is a B2B model now?
Sir, Siddharth, yeah.
Awesome, Siddharth. Go
So
ahead.
B2B means, I guess, like we are purchasing from the showrooms, right? Showrooms or some, where the cars can purchase. So B2B means the contact between the showrooms and the manufacturers, I guess. So these people
Awesome.
are getting cars from there, and they are, the both side the business is happening. So that's what I guess.
Super awesome. You have just nailed it. But adding, you have just nailed it. You're so very right.
Thank you,
So we go to the showroom, we make a transaction as a customer, and we purchase a car. But in between that, for a car to get manufactured, there are several other departments and several other units that come into place. Can you name some units for a car to be assembled? Can you name some units that comes in picture?
So
Anybody?
goods productions, I mean, the parts space productions.
Yes, let's go spares. You rightly said. So Siddharth, what spares do you think? One spare that you think, okay, this Maruti
tire?
company, tire is a
Tires?
good spare. Yes. So
Yeah.
there are different tire companies which gets associated to.
MRF and so on. So yes, sir.
Absolutely, Siddharth. Anybody would wish to add to Siddharth? He says tire. Apart from tire, any other component that a car would be having?
Sir Pushpa, steering.
Awesome, Pushpa. Yes, when I say steering, it becomes on an assembly note. So again, coming back on the steering, there is some units like switch controls or probably the leather finish, right? Maruti does not manufacture leathers by themselves. What they do is they give their steering wheel to another leather manufacturer or another company who does it, right? So the steering gets finished by its stitching of leathers and things. So there is a B2B transaction between Maruti and the leather company, correct?
Exactly.
Awesome. So any other spares that you can think of?
Sir, I'm not sure it's right, or like I guess glasses, because glasses companies, for windows, glasses, and I think
Absolutely.
there are the people who manufacture the glasses.
Absolutely. You perfectly said it.
Yeah.
There are multiple companies who associates with these car companies, and they deliver glass as one of the services to make sure that a final product of car is being assembled. For example, 3M is one major brand which supplies glasses as well, right? So this is one second model which an entrepreneur can think of, right? So again, coming back to the very small example of a grocery store. Now a grocery store is something that runs with B2C model. We are a customer, but of course, there is a transaction between the distributor and the store. A distributor is one who sells or pushes his products to this store. So there is a B2B transaction between the storekeeper and the company as well. So there are two models that's happening there itself. So I hope I'm clear with this. Any doubts, any clarifications, please feel free to ask me so that I can answer it within my capacity. Anybody has any doubts or anything that you would want to ask me? Awesome. Thank you. So the last model that I'm going to is about, does anybody have any idea about the last model that an entrepreneur can think of? Perfect. So the third model is going to be B2CH. What do I mean by that? It's business to channel. What is the business to channel? For example, now let's come back to the example of Maruti cars. Maruti car, we as a customer has an instrumental transaction with purchasing the car. They themselves supply, they procure items from a lot of other manufacturers like 3M. For music system, they can be tied up with Sony, JBL, or probably Kenwood or Blopunk, and many companies like this. And coming back to the leathers as well, there will be many leather companies. And coming back to the switches, coming back to the engine. By the way, how many of you are aware of this car called Swift in Maruti? Are you aware? If yes, you should tell me Swift.
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 Awesome. Were you aware that Swift is a Maruti owned car, but the engine is actually not Maruti's? It is given by Fiat. Earlier, I'm not sure about this, but a couple of years back, Fiat was the suppliers of engine to Maruti. Were you aware of this information?
No.
Right?
No.
So these are some things that a business would be doing. Not necessarily he, as a business, should be selling his own products. He will assemble a lot of products and make it a final good and sell it to the customer. So B2C, there is another model how it approaches. For example, we go to purchase a car and it's a Maruti car. We have made a cash transaction. Before that, the B2B model has worked. That is why we have got the car. But after the purchase of the car, you notice there will be a lot of items that would be given to us as accessories, as complimentary. And
Yes, sir.
sometimes
Yes.
we would also be told as a customer to purchase a few accessories.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a few accessories that we might purchase after the car or immediately after purchasing a car? What are the accessories?
Sir, the glass, the window, what we attach, like,
The sun
Mirror,
film.
mirror.
yeah, mirror. Not mirror, like which protects from the sun, sir. Like,
Exactly. It's called a sun film, right?
yeah.
So speakers,
Awesome. Yeah, speaker is one accessory that we might we might be told to purchase. So what else? We have speaker, we have sun film, and
Floor mat.
awesome. Yes, floor mat is one. Anything else apart from this?
Rohini, I'm not sure, but maybe lights, because I don't know about cars, but bike car we can change to.
Correct. That's right. Car is the lights are also one set.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Rohini. Not necessarily all companies might promote lights, but of course there are a few companies that would help the customers to purchase lights in case the customer is interested to do so. Correct? So what
Insurance
is
is another.
Maruti? Yes.
So some
Insurance.
companies also they will recommend to get a camera, sir, like for reverse camera. Like some companies advise that because we cannot see clearly through what's going in the background
Perfect.
behind the car. So,
Perfect. So that's cameras and sensors. Correct?
yes, exactly.
Awesome. Awesome. So do you think all these products are manufactured by Maruti directly or the dealer directly?
No.
No. What do?
That's-
They only make sure that is being placed in their showrooms and they try to sell it. Correct. So by this, are they selling it while the car is given, or is it an additional thing that they are trying to sell?
Additional.
Can you
sir.
repeat the
I think
question?
it's an additional thing, sir.
It's definitely an additional thing
Yeah.
that they try to sell to us, understanding that we as customers might need this. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you look at this simple example of Maruti car dealers, they have all the three models. They run B2B, B2C, and B2CH. So the customer purchased the car, he's facilitating, the dealer is facilitating the customer to purchase a car by taking money as the transaction. Second, he also makes sure the company, the dealer is purchasing from Maruti, or Maruti in return has given it to many other companies like I mentioned just some time back. Yeah. The 3M, or let it be the music systems or the tires, all these are. So that is the B2B model. And the next step is the B2CH model, which I said, again, all the products are ready, but there might be some other products where the customer wants to pick and he feels this might help him to get benefited out of it. So these are the three models. Even before you can start an entrepreneurship journey, you should think of which model are you going to pick, right? Or are you going to work on just one model, or are you going to work on all the three models, or is it a combination of just two models, right? So that is the first question to ask yourself. Say, for example, from this moment on, I decide to sell, let's say, backs, right? Backs is a product, or let me ask Siddharth, what do you think
Yes,
is
sir.
a good product to start off with if you start yourself as an entrepreneur today?
Sir, like nowadays people are so passionate about electronic goods like phones and those gadgets, accessories.
So
So-
you're placing yourself in the domain, in this domain of electronic accessories.
Yeah, because that is what the people are in fond of, and which is trending in nowadays.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Yep.
you would be selling electronic appliances, you said. So which
Yes.
model would you be working on? Is it B2C? Is it going to be B2B or B2CH? Or is it going to be a combination of just two?
Sir, I think I would B2C, I guess.
Perfect. B2C.
Yeah.
And of course, since you are also in the space of electronic appliances, you're not going
Yeah.
to sell one product. You have multiple brands,
Yeah,
correct?
exactly.
So you are also selling, you are also becoming a B2CH as well there.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Exactly, sir.
Do everyone agree about this? If yes, you should tell me yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Okay.
So I hope I'm clear by the first model. Even before we start a business, what are the models that we are supposed to focus on, right? Any doubts, anything that you would want to ask me, feel free and open about it. Perfect. So we are good to go for the next leg.
So,
Yes.
but so these three models works in any like in every entrepreneurship.
No, it doesn't work in every entrepreneurship thing. For example, let's take an example of a flower vendor who's giving you flowers. Where is the chance of a B2B transaction? where is the chance of B2CH transaction?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Her product is going to be only selling flowers, correct?
Yeah.
And she's doing it with one instrumental transaction by money, and that is going to be a B2C model, say, right? And adding to what you said, now let's say this flower vendor is also going to sell a little homemade chocolates. Now, which combination is it going to be? Is it going to be just B2B or B2B and B2C and B2CH? Which model is it going to be?
Sir, B2C and B2CH.
Right?
Yeah.
Agreed. So
Yeah.
let's assume she is going to manufacture, she's going to say a person homemade chocolate who supplies homemade chocolate, and she does a packing by name Siddharth Chocolates, right? She does a packing by saying Siddharth Chocolates. Now she sells Siddharth Chocolates. That's the brand she tells herself. But originally she sells only flowers. This is now another product that she sells. What are the two models that she's working on?
Sir, she can directly, keep her own. She can manufacture her. She can set up her own company and she can produce from there to some shops and other things, or she
No.
can get a tie up also. Now, like, there are
Perfect.
two ways.
My question was, Siddharth, I am a homemade chocolate maker and I am just giving you chocolates prepared at my home, and
Yeah.
you're branding it as Siddharth Chocolates.
Yeah.
Now you are a flower vendor as well, who was
Mhm.
running your model by just selling flowers. So
Mhm.
initially you guys agreed to me by telling it's a B2C model.
Yeah.
Now I'm giving you this chocolates and you're branding it by your name and selling it. Now, what is
Yes.
the transaction between us? And you're selling it to the customer. So what model are you working on?
B2B.
It's a combination of B2C and
And
B2B.
B2C, B2B. Yeah.
B2B,
Yeah.
right? In case the same person, Siddharth, is also selling chocolates of Dairy Milk Company, no, Cadbury's and Nestle. So what model is he now working on?
B2CH.
Yes, that's the other additional model that he's working on.
Yeah.
So he's doing B2C, B2CH, and B2B as well,
B2B. Yeah.
right? I hope I'm clear, or is there a little confusion around?
No, sir.
It's clear.
Okay. Just think about this. I know. It's been a circle here, but when you sit about it and think about it, you will get to know more about how this model works. Selling other person's products is a B2CH model. To sell that product and purchasing it from someone, that's a B2B model. And finally, you're selling it to one single customer. That's a B2C model, right? That's the simple of it. Now, going forward, I believe, and my mentor says, there are 7 spokes to any business. There are 7 spokes to any business. Can someone start telling about the spokes, if you're aware? Like someone said a little before, marketing is 1 spoke. What is the next 6 spokes?
So production.
Production is, of course, yes, that production comes under,
Or we
a
can take
spoke.
supply.
Production and supply also comes under one common spoke, which is called operations.
Oh, yeah.
So, sir, demand will
Supply
be-
comes under sales.
Sales. Yeah.
So sales is a spoke. Marketing is a spoke. And production is in itself an operational spoke.
Operation.
Right? Now we have marketing, we have sales, we have marketing, sales, and operations we had. Now we are about to go with next 4 spokes. What do you think the next 4 spokes are?
Sir, exchange.
Exchange is more towards to do with operations again. Yeah, because you'd be supplying there. After supplying, you might get exchange, as the customer might come back to you and say, I want an exchange of this. Is that what you meant, Pushpa, right?
Shilpa, sir.
Okay, Shilpa. This is what exactly you mentioned, right? I mean,
Yes,
the
sir.
customer. Okay, so that again comes under the operations. So let's go with the fourth spoke. The fourth spoke is all about accounts. Do you agree that is also one spoke that is required in a business? You need marketing, you need sales, you need operations.
Yes, sir.
So to track all these things, don't you think accounts is one? The fifth one is going to be HR, because to manage sales, to manage marketing, to manage operations, to manage accounts, you need a HR in place who delegates all these work or tracks all these works, right? So there are
Yes,
5
sir.
spokes that we have covered. The first one is marketing, the second one is sales, the third one is operations, the fourth one is marketing, sales, operations. Where did I go? Which are the other 2 that we covered? Accounts and HR. Which brings me to the 6th spoke, R&D. That is research and development, right?
Yes, sir.
That is one another spoke that we'll have to focus on, because you got to be updated as an entrepreneur. What is happening in the market or what is going to come new in the market. So updating yourself by doing continuous research and development is when you can upgrade yourself as an entrepreneur, and your business also upgrades similarly. And which brings me to the last and the final, but the most important spoke. To do all these things, what do we require?
Sir, workers.
That comes under HR. That's a good point that you brought in. But yeah, that comes under HR, right? When the HR sources for workers, that is when we place these workers to particular departments. Do we place them to marketing? Do we place them to sales? Do we place them to finance? We cannot place a person who's good at accounts and ask him to sell. It becomes a difficult task for him. So he's fit to do an accounting job, right? So beyond all these things, what do you think the most important thing as an entrepreneur it requires to start or to continue the entrepreneurial journey? What is it?
Finance.
Awesome. Who told me that answer?
Siddharth, sir.
Siddharth, you're just being awesome by engaging again and again.
Thank you, sir.
That's nice. So finance is the most important spoke with all these things in place, right? Do you agree? Yes, Siddharth?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So what do we do with finance? To sell a product or to sell any of the services, finance is the most important thing. Now you'll know what are you going to allocate your budgets for marketing, and what is it going to cost you operationally. To put operations into place, you need people, which requires HR. So finance decides all these things. Beyond finance, this is just one more spoke that I believe which any business will have. All these things, all these 7 things that I mentioned is the 7 spokes as an entrepreneur that you must be skilled in. You don't have to be skilled in all the areas, but of course you should know each and every area that I mentioned to start off with an entrepreneur, right? Do you agree, or does anybody has any questions, or do you also want to bring in another angle to what I mentioned?
Sir, a kind of a question, like what if the case, like if we end up with a limited budget, like suppose we are planning to start, we are having everything, like we need to set up this 6 spokes which you spoke, but the thing is, if we are stuck up with a limited what we say finance or a limited
budget.
amount of budget, what would be the case then?
Beautiful question, Siddharth. I appreciate that question. So coming back to that question, Siddharth, do you really think finance is a major thing to start a business?
Not really, sir.
Not really.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the first major thing to start the business? Of course, finance is, I don't mean by telling with zero money that you can start
Yeah.
doing your business.
But we
I
have
don't-
other
I don't-
ways as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So to do this, even when you're budget constrained, you cannot place all the 7 wings at one stage. You cannot delegate all the 7 departments to one at one go, because you are running short of finances. So the first thing, even before you start with doing anything, the first key that I believe to start off with in the 7 spoke is marketing.
Marketing.
Right? If you market yourself, and if you don't have your money as well, the sales can happen automatically at times. Do you agree with me about this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, what I mean by that, you say, Siddharth, you mentioned some time back about some product, electronic appliances, you said,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And now, let's say, this is just a vague example to explain it to you why I'm saying marketing is the most important thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's say you're opening an electronic appliances store, right?
Mhm.
And you're running short of money to put your goods in place in your store, right?
Yeah.
What if you want to place your products by putting out a marketing campaign by telling, for the first 10 customers, we are going to give you,
In discount.
yes.
Yep.
Do you agree, even before you sell, even before you start your business, even before you have launched your store, you have got a database of 10 customers,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So it is all about, you're limited there in terms of your budget. But what do you do there? You are trying to get back to the customer by asking, what is your needs?
Yeah.
What do you want? Which brand? What is your budget?
Become
And
something
what-
called as marketing strategies.
These are just marketing strategies. And now, instead of placing 10 washing machines there, you only place 2 washing machines, which the customer has already asked for.
Yeah.
Right? So that is how you plan your finances when you're limited with your budget. Right?
Okay.
The way how you market yourself is going to determine your sales. Do you agree to me?
Yes, sir.
Sales doesn't happen automatically. The first step to happen is about marketing. And the second step is about sales. So, once the sales come, that is when the money is going to kick in. And that is when you are going to allocate your budgets. That is when the role of accounts is going to come in picture, correct? So now after your sale, what is the tax compliances that you're supposed to make? What are the profits that you have got? What are you supposed to pay back to the vendor? And what are you going to reinvest? That is when the accounts team is going to come in place, right? So do you agree all these spokes are very important? For example, R&D. What I meant by R&D here. So what if you are opening an electronic appliances store and you're going to place an old product which is not in the market from the last 2 years, or it's a 2-year-old product? Do you think the customers might agree to that
No, sir.
and buy? No. So what do you
Because
do?
it's out of date. Like the trends has been changed, the people mindset has been changed. So
Awesome.
you cannot
Siddharth,
expect,
so-
you cannot tell people to get keypad Nokia phones and you cannot sell them in this
Exactly.
world. That's how.
We have to
Exactly.
update. We have to update, sir.
We have to have an market research done. For
Exactly.
example, I cannot go and sell. Since we are from Karnataka, I cannot go and sell filter coffees in Rajasthan. Does it work?
No.
You know what R&D has to be done there, correct?
Like
And
what people
your
need.
filter coffee works only here, right? So in case you're starting your business somewhere in Gujarat, you cannot go and sell your filter coffees like the way how you're selling it here, correct? So you'll do your market research and development there. So what do you research? What is the market requirement there? What is the problem of the customer? What can we place? And you'll develop on that. That is what I meant by R&D, right? So even before you start, your R&D should be in place. After R&D, again, your marketing is in place. In case you're launching filter coffees here in Bangalore as well, or in Karnataka, though there are n number of players, you still don't have to do R&D by telling, will it work or no? It's working. You don't have to do R&D. But what are you going to do? You're going to develop a strategy to position yourself, right? So you're going to market yourself here in this particular geographical area. And that is when you're going to start kicking in sales. And that is when your HR comes in place. So you know which is the best salesman to be put. An accounts person cannot sell. He's good at accounts. He would only do accounts. A person who can speak and convey or probably convince or try to understand human behaviors will be best at HR, right? He cannot go and market by telling, I know human behaviors here, so I'm going to do this. No, he's good at HR, right? He cannot go research and development. There are a few people who knows how to do research about this, gather all the information and try to get in a few information about the future and also place products accordingly or services accordingly, right? And coming back to the entrepreneur journey, it doesn't have to be just products. It can also be services, right? It can be a combination of both. So these are the most important 7 spokes as an entrepreneur. You must at least know these 7 spokes, and you can always touch all the areas. If you're not good at accounts, you don't have to learn accounts and then set up. You can still know the surface level and outsource this to an expert, right? But when do you outsource it? When you are sure you are able to pay this person, the person whom you're placing in accounts team, right? You cannot straight away say, okay, I don't know accounts and I'm going to place another person. Your profits might be only 10,000 and you'd be paying a salary of 12,000 to him, which is practically not a good entrepreneurship sign, correct? So it is one step at a time. For each of the 7 spokes that I mentioned, it doesn't have to happen overnight or all at one step. It has to happen step by step. In case your marketing is weak, that is when you understand your sales is dropped. And that is when you will focus back to your marketing and bring in your marketing strategies to bring in more sales. Only when there is a lot of sales will you again get back to your operations teams by telling, this is what I require. Even for services, what in case it was Ganesha Chaturthi 2 days back, and you know all these flower vendors will have an additional bunch of flowers with them because they know it's going to sell. So what are they going to do? They're going back to the operations team, which is what is their operation team. They will go back to the market. They'll have a vendor. They'll get back to the vendor and say, hey, look, all these days I was taking 10. Now I need 20 because it is this festival. So that is when he will go to the farmer and says, this is what I require. So this is how the chain works. And ultimately, we as customers, we only make a transaction there. But there is a lot of journey behind this, correct? So these are the 7 spokes as an entrepreneur that you should follow. Even before getting into the 7 spokes, you should know what are you going to sell, what model is your business going to be. And which brings me to the last stage, that is about the goals. There are 5 goals that any business should have. The first goal is always towards customer-centric goals. What problem are you solving to the customer, right? That is more important. What services and goods are you giving to the customer? So that is your customer goals. The second one is your team goals. Which team, what team are you going to place? The third goal is about financial goals. We as a company, we as an entrepreneur, by the end of this year, how much are we going to sell? How much are we going to sell? What is going to be our net profit? What is going to be our gross profit? And what are we going to reinvest? All these comes under financial goals. The next goal is learning goal. You got to learn continuously to survive in this game of entrepreneurship. You know, my mentor says it very, very nicely. If you say jobs are rat race, then entrepreneurship is a termite fight, right? So he says this beautifully, and he's so right in it. It is not an easy journey being an entrepreneur, but it is a beautiful journey to be in. You learn so much, you do so much, which brings me to the last and the final goal. The first one is customer goals, team goals, financial goals, and learning goals. And the last one is management goals, which is the most important thing. Management goal is when an entrepreneur becomes a management and he knows which are the areas he's good at and which are the areas that he's supposed to delegate to do certain things. I'm not good at accounts. I'm not good at finance. So I don't do finance and accounts. I don't understand that. I'm good at marketing and sales. I only handle that. I'm not good at R&D. I'm not good at HR also I'm good at, but I don't handle finance. I don't handle accounts. I don't handle R&D. That is not my cup of tea. So me as an entrepreneur, I always wish to delegate these things, and I handle only marketing, sales, and of course, HR, which I feel me as an entrepreneur, I'm blessed in these 3 spokes, and the rest 4, I don't even put my head there. I only surface level check into that and delegate the rest. That is when an entrepreneurship journey becomes beautiful. Do good at what you're good at and delegate the rest, which makes your entrepreneurship very, 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 very beautiful, but it is not easy. Once it is easy, it is going to be super easy, right? So by this end, by concluding this, I end my talk for the day, and thank you each one of them for giving me this opportunity and for putting that beautiful questions across. Even before I could conclude, does anybody have any questions? Or if you feel, okay, this person was not able to speak about this, I can still help you out for the next 5 minutes maximum.
If anybody has any doubt,
Like the
please.
entrepreneurship means like, yeah, like are you talking in a sense of like a business like this applies to this all in a complete corporate structure? I think those people also follow the same things, but I think there will be some little bit of changes, I guess. So like
Not necessarily corporate. Are you telling this works only with corporate sectors?
no. Like, will it also works as same as completely as same with the corporate sectors as well? Like
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. Just think about it. Just think about it. You have
Mhm.
2 major phone suppliers. I mean, phone major suppliers. Not the companies I'm talking about. You know, I'm talking about iOS and Android. Correct?
yeah.
These are the 2 major things. Now, both of them are in a competition. What do you think these guys must be doing? The first thing that always they would be doing is R&D. You know, the highest money of their profits is always shelled back towards R&D. You know what they'd be doing? There are still a lot of gaps in the market. These guys will spend money there, and they will try to understand what other problem can we solve of the customer. And that is when they market, understanding that research. And then they market themselves by telling, hey, look, we have come back with this solution. Why don't you try this? Now by giving that marketing thing is when we as customer feel, yeah, I think this is what we are supposed to buy. And that is when the sale happens. Correct?
Absolutely, sir.
So every business, every entrepreneur should focus on all the 7 spokes,
Mhm.
is what I feel. And my mentors does it the best possible in explaining these things. Right?
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Awesome, Siddharth.
Yeah.
Lovely. Just love you for what you've been engaging as a student. Yeah. So who else has any sort of a question? I'm open to answer any question for the next 3 minutes.
I am Pushpa. Sir, Vinit sir, I have one small question.
Yes, Pushpa.
We have to convince the customers, right? Sometimes to improve our business.
Correct.
So in which category it will come, sir?
Convincing is a part of sales. You know, there is a difference between conveying and convincing. That's a good question and a good perspective that you brought in, Pushpa. So convincing is when you would get back to the customer by telling, okay, this is the product or this is the service that I have. And look, I'm ready to give you this at this price, or the competitor is giving you at this price. So that is more towards to do with your selling is what I feel, right? Conveying is when you're telling, look, I have this service. Look, this is the benefit. Look, this is my pricing. That is when the marketing thing comes. Conveying happens there, and convincing is more towards to do with your sales, is what I feel. Does this answer your question, Pushpa?
Sir, still I have a doubt.
Okay,
I
go ahead.
didn't understand it.
Okay, listen.
Once
what
we
product?
convince, once we convince to the customers also,
Right.
they will not agree. They will go to other places, right?
Correct.
Like say, so how we want to convince to take the things in our department only, means in our shop only. That is my
Okay. That's a good question again. That's a repetitive good question, Pushpa. Pushpa, let's assume, which is your favorite product? Which you want to sell?
In which chocolates?
Okay, let's say chocolate. Now coming back to chocolate, what chocolates do you want to sell? There are multiple things in chocolates, right? So what chocolates do you want to sell?
Dairy milk.
Okay, you want to sell dairy milk, right? And in dairy milk, what if I say, me as a customer comes to you and say, you have all varieties of dairy milk. You have all varieties of dairy milk, right? And I say, as a customer, I come to your shop and say, Pushpa, can you give me, I don't remember the exact name, but I had come across about this. But yeah, I think it is Turkish Delight. I don't know if that's the right word. Pushpa, give me Turkish Delight. I need this flavor of dairy milk. And you have all varieties. What will you do? Do you have this variety or no?
If we have, I will say I have that variety. So that I don't have means I will not tell them.
So would you want to convince the customer by telling, okay, take this instead of Turkish, or you will say, no, I don't have this?
No, we have to convince what we have with us.
Correct.
Yeah.
What in case the customer says, I don't have this, so I'm not buying anything from you?
We have to try to convince the customers what we have the product.
Absolutely. So what are you going to convince the customer? You might now understand, if you know about the depth of the knowledge of this particular flavor called Turkish Delight, you will try to match something of that same taste, and then you will give it. Correct? You'll try to sell that instead of this.
Correct.
Or you might say straight away top by telling, sir, I don't have this, or madam, I don't have this, but just give me about 5 more days time. I can give you 10 units of it, because you are already associated with the company called Cadbury's and the distributor. It is not big deal for him to give you this particular flavor, right?
Correct.
And now do you convince your customer by telling, take this, I have this, or you'll say, I have this, and the customer buys? What will happen later?
We have to convince the customer what we have with our stock.
That's right. In case you have your Turkish Delight as your flavor, would you still convince your customer by telling, or you will only convey?
I will try to convince the customer.
Okay, perfect. So there you would be only conveying the message by telling to your customer, I have this Turkish Delight. For the same customer I'm talking. I'm not talking about another customer. So there you would be only conveying that message to the customer. Listen, you had asked me for Turkish Delight last time. Now I've got this for you. Do you think you'll have to convince your customer there?
No,
I
sir.
think no.
No.
No. Coming back to the point. Okay, what if me and you, both of us are selling Dairy Milk chocolates, and then you sell at 5 rupees and I'm selling at 4 rupees 50 paisa? Which will the customer buy? Same product, same thing. We are placed next to each other.
50 paisa less is there, no? That they will
Obviously,
do that.
obviously, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, right? So
Correct.
can you still try to convince your customer by asking him to pay 5 rupees for the thing which he's getting for 4 rupees 50 paisa?
No, we can't do that.
Not possible. You can never convince a customer who's not willing to buy due to many factors. It can be your quality, it can be your quantity, it can be your price, it can be the way how you as a customer, I mean, how as a shopkeeper you are behaving to him, right? There are many factors to convey and convince, right? So these are all set of skills as an entrepreneur that goes very deep into it.
Sir,
But yeah, these are not magical skills. It is very easy to learn by continuous practice. Yes, Siddharth.
Sir, like, yeah, like I just want to follow up the thing. Like sometimes, like we come across this kind of situation. Like we have two brands of, let's say, speakers, sir. One we are having, we are having two shops near. Like one we are having Sony and one we are having JBL. So
Right.
Sony speaker cost you around 1,000 rupees, and JBL is set price around 4,000 rupees.
Right.
Sometimes what we have, what become like. Of course, JBL is known for its sound quality, and like sometimes we get like, man, we are investing 4,000. Let me go with JBL itself, because we know that it is high priced, but we set for that because due to that marketing, the brand value and the quality, what we have. So sometimes we come across this kind of situation also, sir. Like what I want to tell is, if the price is also less, but sometimes we will be not caring regarding the price, or like the quality matters, I guess. So what-
Absolutely. Don't you think? See, I'll put this across the other way around also.
Yeah.
Siddharth.
Yes.
Siddharth, what if the customer has just 2,000 rupees as his budget and he wants an earpiece? Would he prefer the JBL of 4,000 or would he prefer the 1,000 rupees Sony? What will he focus on?
If he has 2,000, that's it. Like obviously he will go for the thing, but
What if the customer has 6,000 rupees in his pocket and he wants a good earpiece? What
of course
will
he
the
will go for
shopkeeper try
4,000
to say?
rupees.
Yeah. Why is that happening?
Because we will more, we will be more as a customer perspective. Like he wants it should be more durable, it should be more quality.
Correct? Is he
Yeah.
bothered about the money there?
No.
So you as an entrepreneur should know which product to sell to which customer at what price. If you don't know that, that's again a skill that you acquire. For example,
Yeah.
I cannot open a Nike store in Dharavi. Does it work? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The focus there is just a cloth.
Okay.
But where do you place a Nike store here in Bangalore? You place it in Sadashiv Nagar, which is one of the poshest area, right? It sells like this, right? It just sells. You know why? It's about the brand. That is not about the money.
I just gave this question because you were talking about 5 rupees and 4 rupees and 50 paisa. Like
Right.
obviously they will taking about 4 rupees and 50 paisa, but sometimes we'll come across this kind of situation also. Like if the price is hike, we never bother, in terms of quality and the brand value of the product.
Correct. That's a customer mindset. That's a customer mindset where he as a customer will have few certain attributes that he carries towards the purchase of his product.
Yes.
There are a few people who focuses just on the quality. There are a few people who just focuses on the price. There are a few people who just focuses just on the brand. And there are a few people who focuses all the three. And there are people who just focuses on just two. Each customer will have different mindset. Correct?
Yes.
So you as an entrepreneur would decide or would know what is to be placed at which price or what do you sell to this particular market. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's how an entrepreneur journey goes. And that is what I believe are the entrepreneurship skills. By this, I think I am overshooted with the time. Extremely sorry for taking that extra time. Chandana, back to you. And thank you so much, guys, for asking this
Definitely
lovely
you didn't take
questions.
extra time, sir. So it's like correct. and you're
Awesome.
talking, the session is really going well.
Awesome, Chandana. Thank you so much. So I would only say thanks to each one of them in the room for giving me this opportunity. And I hope I have made justice for this 45 minutes or 1 hour of your time. And by throwing in a little light into you as a customer and as an entrepreneur. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
Back
you,
to
Vinit.
Chandana.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vinit sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Siddharth.
Vinay sir, for that awesome session and conducting it like it was really enlightening for many of us, and all the students really had
Arvind?
enlightening session.
Thank you, Vinit. Nice session.
Arvind,
Chandana, if anyone
recording off ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ.
let them ask questions.
Sorry, Hema ma'am?
If anyone wants to ask in Kannada, no, let them.
Yeah, sure, definitely. If anyone has any questions also,
They can ask in Kannada. if they want.
You can ask in Kannada also. And I'm not sure what other languages Vinit sir would know.